Taylor Swift and the new song Beautiful Ghosts from the current Cats film. I'm Elaine Page and my review of 2019 continues after the news. The news. This is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 2 o'clock, this is Alex Ritson. A man's been arrested in connection with a knife attack at the home of an Orthodox rabbi in New York State. Witnesses said the attacker entered the house in Mosey while people there were celebrating Hanukkah. At least 5 people were wounded, 2 are in a critical condition. Avital Chitzik-Goldschmidt works for a Jewish news magazine in New York and says people in the quiet suburb of Mosey have felt safe until now.
I think that has changed tonight. From what I'm hearing, there is a lot of fear, there is panic. There were a few hours of lockdown where the Jewish grocery stores, everything was closing down. There were helicopters flying overhead. And I'm sure that has been putting a lot of that sense of comfort and security into question for many residents.
Meanwhile, a synagogue and several shops in the Hampstead area of North London have been daubed with anti-Semitic graffiti. Police say they're treating the matter as a racially motivated hate crime. French and British coastguards have rescued migrants crossing the Channel in 3 boats which were unsafe. More than 30 people were returned to France. Here's Simon Jones.
Making the most of calm seas and mild temperatures, 3 more boats set off from the French coast in the early hours of this morning. The first got into difficulty when its engine broke down off Calais. There were 11 people on board. A second boat carrying 20 people, including a pregnant woman, was located off Dunkirk. It was taking on water. 1 man had to be resuscitated after suffering a suspected cardiac arrest. A third boat was intercepted by the border force. More migrants have now succeeded in making the crossing this month than in December last year, when the government declared a major incident.
The organiser of a petition calling for the cancellation of Sydney's New Year's fireworks says the display could further traumatise people affected by the bushfires. More than 250,000 people have signed the petition, which calls for money spent on the display to be diverted to tackling the fires and compensating victims. Phil Mercer reports from Sydney.
Australia's most spectacular party could be cancelled if there are catastrophic fire conditions in and around Sydney on New Year's Eve. But for now, the show will go on, despite a petition calling for it to be scrapped. The City Council says cancelling the annual fireworks display would bring little or no practical benefits to bushfire-affected communities. Elsewhere, emergency crews are preparing for more dangerous fire conditions and extreme heat across the country's southeast from tomorrow.
The head of the Lake District National Park Authority has said the area is failing to attract enough black and minority ethnic visitors. Richard Leaf says he wants to see greater diversity. And in cricket, South Africa have beaten England by 107 runs in the first test at Centurion. England were all out for 268 in their second innings. BBC News at 2:03. Our next at 3. BBC Radio 2. And now let's get the travel news with Order.
Alex, thank you very much. Lancashire and the A56 Accrington bypass, the northbound side, and between Rising Bridge roundabout and the A679 at Hampton, there's been an accident. So as a result of that, the road has been closed in both directions. And in Cheshire, the M62 eastbound from 11 at Birchwood to 12 at the M60, the Eccles interchange, there was a breakdown in one of the lanes. And the M60 looking a little bit slow for you is the anti-clockwise side. Junction 15 at the M61, round to Wesley at Junction 13 looking slow. The M62 looking a little bit heavy for you at Goole at Junction 36 to 37 at Houghton. There was an accident a while ago, but it cleared. And the A1M just starting to ease now. The Doncaster bypass on the southbound side, 37 at Marr to 36 at Doncaster. South Wales, the M4 has been slow on the eastbound side, Tredegar Park, 28 to 26 at Malpas Road. Heavy traffic on the M1 in Bedfordshire. On the northbound side, it's between 13 at Bedford and 14 at Milton Keynes. There was an accident and one of the lanes was closed for a while. The M4 has been heading west. That's out of London, Junction 3 at Hayes, through to Junction 4 at Heathrow. Quite a bit of a queue there after a breakdown. And the M25, well, earlier on, they closed the right-hand tunnel. There was a vehicle on fire, so anti-clockwise queues are still there from 2 at the Darrant interchange, but the tunnel has reopened. Looking busier anti-clockwise from 18 at Chorleywood, round to the M4 at Junction 15 as well. And in Hampshire, the M27 eastbound slow at Basildon, Junction 8. I'll be back just after the news at 3.